Hey there, welcome to another edition of Tour Confidential. I'm Ryan Asselta, and I'm very excited to be joined this week since it's Team Week by Golf.com's Dream Team of Jeff Ritter and Sean Zock. And guys, it's the third week of April here. A year ago, we think back, it's when we heard the news Tiger Woods was having yet another, his fourth back surgery. Since then, though, a year removed from that, Tiger seems to be healthy. He's gone through a rehab, he's gone through getting back on tour, and he's played in a major championship. When you look at where he's come in this last year, Jeff, and look at the year ahead, what's the expectation level for Tiger in the latter half of 2018 ahead?
Higher than they were 6 months ago. I mean, last fall, the President's Cup, he was talking about hitting 70-yard pitches, and things didn't really seem optimistic, even straight from the source, straight from Tiger. So to go from that point to where we are now, where he's got a couple top tens in events, he's played in the Masters, everything seems to be building in a positive direction. So I mean, I think, assuming health, and that's really, at this point, that's the ultimate wild card, and it's not just the back, but he's had, he's got knee injuries, he's had Achilles, he's had a neck. Everything has to stay intact for him to be able to play and practice the way he wants to continue building. But if he does, I think he's going to win somewhere this year. I don't know that it's major championship ready yet. I think the Masters kind of showed us that, but I think he could win. I said it half jokingly last fall that I think a year of good health, he could win the Hero World Challenge. I'm going to stay with it, that I think he wins before the year's up and maybe December at the latest.
Sean, what do you think? When you look ahead, he's taking a 3-week break pretty much here until the Players' Championship. He's playing the National coming up in June. What do you expect from Tiger? Looking ahead, he's kind of cherry-picking his schedule a little bit around the major championships.
Yeah, well, I don't think he can be too picky because I think ultimately he wants to be a player on the Ryder Cup team. I don't think he wants to be a vice captain, which is what he is right now. If he continues to play good golf, he will be on that team. But if he doesn't play good golf, we haven't really seen him come back and struggle yet, and that can exist. We've seen him struggle in the past. So he's at this point where if he plays good golf, he'll be on the team. If he doesn't play good golf, that becomes much more of a question. So I think Tiger can't be super picky. He might have to play down in North Carolina again like he has a couple years ago. He might have to not be so picky just to get more reps and at least more Ryder Cup points.
Sean, what about simply golf-wise? What we've seen over the last 3 to 4 months at the Hero, he contended at the Valspar, played well at Bay Hill. Not bad at the Masters. He makes the cut there. What you've seen on the golf course, has it raised or lowered your expectation of Tiger going forward?
Definitely raised. I mean, the guy has shown 36 and 54 hole stretches where he can keep his ball in play. And the driver was always the biggest question, but his putter's been phenomenal. His ball striking has not left him, which when you have an aging back and you're just taking a super steep angle into the turf, you figured that his ball striking would be a little bit questionable. But his short game has been there too. I think when he keeps his driver in play, he keeps his misses a lot closer to the fairway. He can play winning golf.
Yeah. Jeff, any concerns? What do you see? I mean, he's got some tough events coming. If he's going to play the Players, and of course the U.S. Open at Shinnecock, those are not going to be easy events for Tiger to simply just hang around the top 20 of the leaderboard.
I think the Masters going forward from now until the end of his career is his best shot to win a major. Maybe the British Open, you could get a couple setups that suit him well, but I'm not looking for him to win, to make his major return or major victory at Shinnecock. I'm not looking for it to happen to the PGA this fall. But it doesn't mean we can't still keep building. Like Sean said, he's going to play on this Ryder Cup team, I think, if all he has to do is tell Captain Furyk, hey, I want to play, and he's going to play. But to continue this comeback in a positive direction, just keep making cuts, keep playing well, keep building on what you're doing. And I don't think he needs to win a major this year to have this be a successful comeback, because we look at the long game. I'd look at next year.
I'll say this. One thing that Tiger has done is he's played courses in which guys haven't taken it super, super deep. The Valspar was not a super, super deep setup. And the U.S. Open, though we don't think Tiger should be able to compete there, if he can take driver out of play, or if he can do the kind of things that he has shown at the Valspar, at the Honda, I mean, the field is not running away from him at these events, and especially won't do that at the U.S. Open. So if he can shoot even golf, I think he's going to be at least in the discussion, and that's something at the U.S. Open we haven't seen from him in a long time.
Yeah, I think he was T17 back in 2004 at Shinnecock, and we don't expect to see him till the Players in a couple weeks. As we mentioned, it's Team Week here on Golf.com, also on the PGA Tours, the Zurich Classic of New Orleans, the two-man team event. Spiced up this year, Sean. We've got walk-up music to the first tee. These guys seem to have a lot of fun with this. Guys I've talked to enjoy this on the schedule. Do you like the event? And if so, should there be more of these on the tour schedule?
I mean, I definitely like the event. It's hard to hate an event in which you have guys that you don't think were necessarily friends going out there and trying to win a golf tournament together, having walk-up music. It is a lot of fun. And I think it's in a spot in the schedule, maybe the 2018 schedule, not necessarily 2019 when things kind of get jumbled around. But in this schedule, between the Masters and the Players, in that kind of Masters hangover period, you like fun events. I mean, we don't really get to see this from these guys, short of the Ryder Cup and short of the President's Cup. So it's hard to find a reason why you shouldn't like it. I know that there's a little gripe you have going.
Well, my only gripe, well, first of all, I'll say that if you're not one of the top tier events on tour, you got to do something, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like do something to get attention. We're here, it's Monday, we're talking about the Zurich. I don't know that we would have this conversation if not for the format. So tip your hat to them for being creative. I just think, and there's a lot of flaws in the world ranking and FedEx Cup systems, that this is really not even the place to start. But I do wonder about for guys who eventually will end the season on the bubble, how do they feel about possibly missing out on the Tour Championship or the FedEx Cup and all the things that come with it, because the full share of points that are given out this event. I'd say just cut it in half, and that would be fair enough for as far as the points. But overall, I like the event, so I'm looking forward to it.
What do you think, Sean? There is a lot on the line. There's $1 million to each winner available here, 400 FedEx Cup points. There are exemptions, too. The 2-year exemption is in play. The 2 winners get into the Players. They get into the Tournament of Champions. We saw it last year. Cam Smith and Jonas Blixt win this thing. Blix hadn't scratched a top 20 in years. All of a sudden, he's playing out in Kapalua to start the year. Is that fair when guys can pick who they want pretty much to come on board and play with them?
It's not necessarily fair, but I don't think it's also necessarily foul. I think that this is just a one-off event. Like, that is what Zurich is turning it into, is kind of a one-off thing. And if guys are going to complain at the end of the year that they missed the Tour Championship by a handful of points, you had 30 events to get it done. Like, that's what it comes down to for me. And this is one spot in the middle of April that if this is the one week that you want to turn to, there's 30 other weeks like it that you can point to as reasons why you didn't get it done.
Here's the important question, I think, heading into this week. If you were playing in the event, what would you want your walk-up music to be?
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's important. I'd have to. You have to give that some thought. You're springing that on me there.
I'm thinking Don't Stop Believing for me.
Yeah, I'm thinking maybe a little Living on a Prayer, Bon Jovi.
That's good.
Something like that to get me going. We all agree it's a fun event. More fun on the PGA Tour is a good thing for the game of golf. Good stuff, guys. Thanks for being with us, Sean and Jeff, and thank you for joining us this week on Tour Confidential. Be sure to join us next week right here on Golf.com.